Falcons fans, something huge might be about to drop. This isn't just another off-season rumor. This could be the kind of move that flips the entire NFC South upside down. Imagine our rivals scrambling, our defense unleashed, and Atlanta's Super Bowl dreams burning hotter than ever. Buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could change the course of our season. Right now, deep in the heart of the NFL offseason, the Atlanta Falcons are at the center of a storm, and it's not just talk. Whispers are turning into real rumors, and the name on everyone's lips: Trey Hendrickson. Yes, that Trey Hendrickson, the nightmare pass rusher who's been tearing through quarterbacks for years in Cincinnati. The kind of player who doesn't just pressure the QB, he haunts them. And here's the thing, this isn't just random gossip. The Bengals are in a strange spot. They're working overtime to lock down stars like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But on the defensive side, cracks are showing. Hendrickson, now 31, is still producing at a high level. Last season he dropped 7.5 sacks even though Cincinnati's defense struggled as a whole. His motor? Relentless. His one-on-one dominance? Still elite. His playoff experience? Priceless. But contracts and cap space don't mix well, and Cincinnati knows it. They've reportedly been willing to listen to trade offers. And that's where the Falcons come in. If Atlanta pulls the trigger, this isn't just adding a player, this is making a statement. This is telling the league, we're not here to rebuild, we're here to take over. A move like this could finally fix last year's biggest weakness: pressure on the quarterback. And if Hendrickson suits up in red and black, every QB in the NFC South is going to start looking over their shoulder. Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. Would trading for Trey Hendrickson make us the most dangerous defense in the NFC South? Drop your confidence rating from 1 to 10 in the comments below. Last year, Falcons fans saw it with their own eyes. The defense just wasn't good enough. We finished 24th in points allowed, giving up nearly 25 points per game. In a division where Tampa Bay is reloading, New Orleans is stubborn, and Carolina is desperate to turn things around, that number simply won't cut it. And that's why analysts are saying Trey Hendrickson could be the perfect answer. Picture this: Hendrickson lined up opposite Grady Jarrett, one on each side, collapsing the pocket, forcing quarterbacks to make mistakes they can't take back. That's the kind of nightmare pairing defensive coordinators dream about. But here's the catch: talent like this comes at a price. Cincinnati isn't just giving Hendrickson away. Reports say they want a first-round pick. For Atlanta, that's not just expensive, that's a full commitment to winning right now. On top of that, you're not just trading for him, you're paying him. Hendrickson is already well compensated, and keeping him in Atlanta would mean handing over a big, multi-year extension. The Falcons have been down this road before. Remember Matthew Judon last year? The front office learned how risky it can be to invest heavily in an aging pass rusher. That's why they're cautious. That's why this move, as exciting as it sounds, feels like a gamble. Meanwhile, the Bengals aren't sitting still. They're still talking to Hendrickson about a possible extension. If they agree on terms, this entire rumor could collapse overnight. And even if talks stall, Cincinnati controls the situation. They can wait, watch, and see who's desperate enough to pay their price. But let's be real for a second. If the Falcons did pull this off, the impact would be instant. This wouldn't just be adding a good player. It would be injecting the defense with fear factor. Every quarterback in the NFC South would suddenly feel that invisible clock in the back of their head, the one that says, Hendrickson is coming. It would be more than football. It would be a message to the entire league. Atlanta is done waiting. We're not just thinking about the future, we're trying to win the NFC South right now. Last season, every Falcons fan saw the same frustrating story play out over and over. We couldn't get to the quarterback. We'd force a third down, the crowd would get loud, and then nothing. No pressure, no disruption, just another converted first down. Those moments piled up, and they translated directly into more points allowed. That's why Trey Hendrickson's potential arrival feels so game-changing. This isn't just about adding a guy who can rack up sacks. It's about breaking an offense's rhythm before it even starts. With Hendrickson flying off the edge, quarterbacks would have to rush their throws, receivers would have to cut routes short, and suddenly our secondary could play more aggressively. More pressure up front means more interceptions, more fumbles, and more chances for our offense to get back on the field. And speaking of the offense, Atlanta has already poured serious resources into protecting it. We've invested heavily in the offensive line over the past few drafts, giving our quarterback time to operate. Now imagine pairing that with a defense that can steal time away from opposing quarterbacks. That balance, a wall in front of our QB and chaos in front of theirs, could be the missing piece to push us into true playoff contention. This offseason, the Falcons' front office has been deliberate. They've made smart, strategic defensive upgrades without throwing money around recklessly. We haven't seen a massive blockbuster yet, but rumors like this one keep the fan base fired up. Because it tells us one thing: if the right player becomes available, the Falcons are ready to act. And Hendrickson isn't just a right player. In Arthur Smith's defensive system, his versatility could be a nightmare for offenses. We could line him up wide, stunt him inside, or even move him around just to mess with protections. His relentless motor and ability to adapt would fit perfectly into a scheme built to confuse quarterbacks and break down blocking plans. Let's not forget, the NFC South isn't waiting around for Atlanta to catch up. Tampa Bay is still dangerous with a veteran QB and a defense that can shut you down. New Orleans remains scrappy and always seems to hang around in the playoff race. Carolina is quietly building around a young quarterback with an improving defense. If we don't keep pace, or better yet, take the lead, we risk falling behind for years. A move for Hendrickson wouldn't just be about adding talent, it would be about taking control. Sending a message: Atlanta isn't here to just rebuild and hope. We're here to attack, to win, and to take the NFC South by force. Yes, the price tag is high. Yes, Cincinnati still holds the cards. And yes, our front office will think twice before committing big money to a player in his 30s. But if the stars align, this could be the spark that turns the Falcons from a team with potential into a team nobody wants to face. In the NFL, everything can flip in an instant. One phone call, one change in asking price, and a deal that looked impossible yesterday suddenly becomes reality. If Cincinnati decides to lower the cost, or if the right offer lands on their table, the Falcons could pounce, and the entire outlook for our 2025 defense could change overnight. Think about it: Hendrickson in red and black, terrorizing NFC South quarterbacks week after week. This isn't just about filling a roster spot. This is about taking a good defense and turning it into something feared. The kind of defense that doesn't just hold the line, but breaks the will of an opposing offense. The offseason is already electric, but the possibility of this move adds a whole new level of excitement. It's the kind of rumor that makes every Falcons fan check their phone twice a day, waiting for that breaking headline. And if it happens, we're not talking about maybe making the playoffs anymore. We're talking about chasing something bigger. So as we wait, keep your ears open and your eyes sharp. The Falcons are in the middle of one of the most intriguing off-seasons in recent memory. The front office knows the stakes, the fans are hungry, and the division is there for the taking. One bold move could send shockwaves through the NFC South and prove that Atlanta isn't here to just participate, we're here to dominate. Falcons fans, it's your turn. If the asking price drops, should we go all in for Trey Hendrickson? Would you risk a first-round pick for a pass rusher who could completely transform our defense? Rate your confidence in this move from 1 to 10 in the comments, and let's see where the fan base stands.